TW, how viewers, welcome to another episode on the Talk with Rebby. Thank you all for watching today's episode, and I promise you today's episode is going to be worth your time. You're going to enjoy today's episode, so please stay tuned and watch to the very end. I also want to thank people that watched the previous episode we had. I know that you probably learned a few things, and I want to say thank you for watching the previous episode. On today's episode, we have two amazing guests on today's episode. I know you guys weren't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that as well. But here we are having two gorgeous ladies on today's episode to share their experience on the Talk with Rebby. So they will introduce themselves briefly. But before that, I would like to say that these two ladies are very special to me. They are, one of the most amazing people I've met here in Canada, and I'm happy to have them on today's episode on the Talk with Rebby. So, Niharika, please kindly introduce yourself to the viewers. They would like to know you, what to do, and just a brief introduction.
Sure. Hi everyone. Thank you, Rebecca, for your kind words and for having me do this. This is my first time participating in a talk show, and I hope whatever I share is informative. So my name is Niharika. I am an international student graduate from India. So I moved to Canada in the fall of 2022 to do my postgrad studies, and 2 years later, and now I'm working full-time as a communications coordinator. It's so great to be here, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for that introduction. Thank you for being on the show. And Karishma, please introduce yourself briefly to the viewers.
Sure. Hi, my name is Karishma, and I came to Canada in December 2022 for a January intake, and I did this public relations, and I finished my course last year, and right now I'm working with the University of Toronto as a commercial property administrator, and I'm so happy to share my experiences with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karishma. This is my first time of having Indians on the show, so I'm very much excited. I'm so happy to have you both here. I respect Indians a lot. They are very hardworking, intelligent, principled, and I've had a meaningful relationship with a couple of them over the years, so I'm happy to have you both on the show. What experience would you be sharing on today's episode? I'll start with Niharika. Just briefly tell us what you'll be sharing on the show.
So I think Indians are the most common diaspora. Here we all know an Indian friend. What people don't hear a lot about is the stories of these people. Like, you come as an international student, maybe it's your first time in the country, maybe you've been before to North America, but whatever it is, it's your first time in a new place, and it's about how you're building your life from scratch, sort of the challenges, the good and the bad, and how you sort of manage your journey. It's been coming up almost 2 years for me here, and I hope people can find value in my journey here and can maybe learn some takeaways, maybe do things a little bit better or differently than what I did on my journey here.
Oh, thank you so much, Niharika. So, Karishma, just a brief summary of your experience that you will be sharing on today's episode.
Sure. Just adding on to Niharika's point. So we all come here, and I think Canada is the most diverse and inclusive country we can ever see. So yeah, I've met people from all the ethnicities and religion, and I feel so great. So I'll be just sharing my journey of being an international student and making my way up to be working in the Canadian culture. And I just believe that maybe if I can inspire even one person, that will be my story. So here I am.
Wow, thank you. I love the fact that you both are very positive about Canada. The thing is, most people, we all have different experiences. Some people will be like, oh, don't come here, don't do this. And one thing I like about Indians, they don't discourage others from moving to a particular country. Your nationality always is the good things. Yeah, there are negative aspects, but you dwell on the positive aspects to encourage others to chase their dreams and give it a try. And that's really lovely. On today's episode, the first question will be for Niharika. I know that you're a scholar and you graduated with honors from UMBA. What drives and inspires you to achieve academic excellence?
Yeah, sure. So I don't know if Indian parents or Indian culture, they want you to work really hard. Before I started my life in communications and in the arts, people really didn't see that as a career option. There used to be, back in the day, just 4 or 5 career options, and you did one of those 4 or 5 and you excelled and you were really good. So that's always been the background of Indians. But my parents are very different. They were happy for me to explore and do what I like. The innate affinity towards academic excellence is something very internal for me. I think I realized pretty quickly early on in my life that this is something that I was good at, and it made me happy, like studying, doing well, and sort of from there it just became a thing that I want to be the best at what I'm doing, and they were just like benchmarks and goals that I set for myself, and it went from there. And every time I was able to set a milestone or set a benchmark and excel, it sort of fulfilled me in a way. And I think it's very important that whatever you do for yourself. And being really good academically and excelling was something of my personal goal, and I've been really happy to be able to do so well so far. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that honest answer. The next question I have is for you both. Karishma can answer that first. Why did you choose Canada as a country to further your education? We have different developed countries that you could have relocated to study and stay back after your studies. Why Canada, and particularly why the institution you chose?
That's a very good question, I think. Thank you, Rebecca. So, as Niharika said, as we are Indians and we just have our goals to run. So, and I think being a woman is very difficult because we have to prove ourselves from the society where we come from. Okay, so why Canada? I think I was researching for a lot of countries, and Canada seemed to be the most inclusive and diverse option to me, which has like a broad spectrum of all the different courses, different people coming in, and maybe some easy immigration options which this country can offer later on if you look onto it. So while I was researching, I found Canada will be a great option because first thing, I was working for 4 years in India, and then after having my master's degree, I thought that my career is now stagnant and I need a leap in my career. So I just thought let's go to Canada and let's step out of my comfort zone. And there are some other options for which I chose Canada, because I think Canada, it has its challenges, right? And I think Canada teaches you how to overcome it. So I think Canada is more often a field which everybody can, whenever you research, and I think the top of the Google search comes to Canada because I think most of the people are searching it, and then you look for all the positive aspects of it, a better healthcare, a better quality of life. So from where I come from in India, I come from very harsh weather conditions, pollution and everything, and coming here looking at the cleaner skies and the air makes me like, oh, this is the freshest breeze I can ever feel. So it's many of these options which I feel. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Karishma, for being on this.
Sure. So for the longest time, I really didn't think I was going to go abroad to study. It was never in my plan really. But I did know I wanted to do a postgrad or like a master's after I finished my bachelor's. Much like Karishma, I also worked in India, and I think I just sort of fell into a routine. It was comfortable, it was familiar, I was living with family, and then COVID happened, right? And obviously I just want to work for a couple of years and then study, but the plans weren't the same, everything shut down, people are cooped up in their home, and I think that's when I really started looking at my options of what I want to do next. What I realized is I knew for sure I wanted to build a career in public relations and associated fields, and that's where I worked, but I didn't really have any formal training, any formal education. I had done a very broad mass communications bachelor's, and I could go 100 different ways, but public relations is what I chose. And I think just in India there weren't a lot of very specialized dedicated options for postgrad in this field, and I started looking abroad. Why Canada? I felt like at that time in my life it was the most affordable, self-sustaining option, while giving me quality education and while exposing me to a great mixed diaspora and a better quality of life. And to answer your question about like why Humber and Seneca, so I did my postgrad in public relations at Humber and a postgrad in government relations at Seneca. And those two colleges, it really came down to the people who were graduating from it. So when I looked at public relations in Canada, I saw a lot of the graduates in the field who are working have some connection to the Humber program at whatever level of academics, but some connection to Humber. And similarly, when I realized I wanted to do public affairs or GR, I realized Seneca was the only college that offered that program. So for me, it was more about picking the program where I wanted to go and then deciding the best option around it. So yeah, that's how I made my choices.
Thank you so much. Karishma made a very important point, the fact that you pray for a good quality of life, and Canada seems to offer that, and also a good immigration option if you decide to stay back after studies. And not just that, it is also an environment that is inclusive and diverse, and I think that's like one of the major reasons why people come to Canada. Nobody wants to go to a country they are not welcomed, where they are not treated as humans, where they are not treated with respect. And here in Canada, we have that, whereby you are treated as a human that you are, you are treated with respect. There's equality here, and there's no discrimination. So that's one thing I will really give Canada. I will give them the accolade for that. That's a very good thing that really brings a lot of immigrants to this country. And the fact that the education system is standard. When you are coming here to study, you are indeed coming here to study. Karishma said, Canada will teach you how to do things. I cannot begin to say that the things I myself have learned in this country. Like, you will learn a lot, not just in terms of academics. You will grow in different aspects. You will not remain in just one place. Different situations will teach you how to think differently, and you become so intelligent, not just in terms of academics, even in dealing with life situations. And that's one of the good reasons why most immigrants are here. And then Niharika made a point about the programs that she wanted to study were what made her to go to the institutions that she attended. And one thing I would say is, fine, you may have the dream of relocating, but ask yourself, why do you want to relocate?
Yeah.
What's that drive? What Niharika said, after COVID, a lot of people were comfortable. You see that word comfort leads to depression for so many people. People that love to be active, people that are dream chasers. When the comfort is too much, you get depressed. Most of us are actually very comfortable in our country, living with family. You are living a good life, actually, but you want more. And that's what brought you here. So that's a good point. Sometimes it's not a problem to actually want more. It's because you know there's more to you and there's more to achieve. So it's okay to leave your comfort zone and be uncomfortable for some time until you achieve that goal, until you attain that height that you want to attain in life. So this one is for Niharika. What are the strategies or tactics you employ to achieve academic excellence? I know being an international student, it's not easy. For some people, you have to work while you study. And some people, you can actually just study and not work. Nevertheless, it's a very challenging period whereby you have to adapt to a new country and at the same time study. And if you are the one that do not just want to pass, but you want to have good results, then it's going to be more challenging.
Yeah, sure. So I like something that you said very much, which is, you said you need to know why you've come here, and if you've come here to study, there's no way around it. You have to focus on your studies. I think that was really important for me. But coming in here, I knew one of the reasons I chose Canada is because I realized when I meant self-sustenance, it meant that I could work to fund my day-to-day expenses and to some extent fund my academics as well, and that was very important for me. But I also knew that I was coming here to study. Indian education is also great. It's just that a couple of these options weren't there, so I came here. But what I realized about Canada and the postgrad program is that it's intensive. It's like 8 to 12 months, and it's always go, go, go. So they really prepare you for the workforce, where you have to juggle multiple deadlines, multiple assignments, do your readings, be on top of everything always. And it's hard. It can feel like you're at it 24/7. But I think really understanding why you're here and knowing the purpose for you to be here to study is very important, because otherwise you don't feel motivated. Yes, working is a great option. It's a boon. You should do it because it teaches you a lot about life, like Rebecca said. But I think you need to understand how to strike that balance between academics and studies. So we were able to work up to like 20 hours outside for a long time. Immigration allowed people to work unlimited number of hours. But you need to reflect and see what works best for you. Can you work unlimited number of hours while also studying and putting 100% into academics? No. So it's like a self-evaluation, self-initiative that you take that balance between work and studies. And I also think that if you're not able to work unlimited hours and manage to study at the same time, you have to understand where you need to pull back in certain areas of life. Maybe it's a compromise for that year that you're studying, that you have to pull back on your lifestyle, pull back on your expenses, because you only are able to work so much and be able to earn so much, so you need to strike that balance somewhere else. So really do an evaluation of your life, your lifestyle, what your priorities are, and I think it will really put you onto a good path of academics and ultimately put you where you want to be in life here.
Yeah, that's a very valid point you made. setting your priorities right, and what you said, like just limit your lifestyle. When you come in here as an international student, just like Niharika said, learn to put your studies first, because you have a lot of time to achieve whatever things you want to achieve, but let your studies be the first thing that you know you have to get right on track. So in terms of making money and working so hard, you have to work less, not just because the system doesn't allow it, but because you know why you are here. And in terms of that, you have to focus more and give more priority to your studies. And after that, you can work as many hours as you want, but just know your limits and know how to balance it well. Don't let work override the main purpose of why you are here in the first place. So your studies first, during the couple of years that you have to study, that should be your priority. So the next question is for Karishma. Tell us the procedure in which you took in relocating to Canada through study. In my country, we have a certain procedure, although it might be similar, but I'm quite sure there are some differences in what you need to do, how you need to do it in order to come here to study. So please just run us through that.
Sure. I think India follows a different set of visa procedures from many other countries, and they are like very stringent, because since the time I came in Canada, every day is like a new hustle for me because I have to worry about new visas, new permits, extensions and everything. But yeah, it's good. So when you plan to come here, it starts with a very strong mindset and a supportive family to leave your country and focus to come here and then identifying the course that you want to do. So it starts with, I think, researching for a country, then maybe a college and a course. So you must know what you are passionate about. So my innate passion for, say, like public relations and corporate communications made me choose that course, because right said it was not available in India. India has a very good set of studies because I myself have done a master's degree, but Canada offers more variety of studies, and it is so inclusive that it welcomes you wholeheartedly like this, right? So yeah, so it starts with this, and then you have to check your eligibility criteria, and then if you match, you have to apply to that college, and then you have to complete your IELTS examination, which is like an English mandatory exam, and then you wait for then you apply for your study permit, you complete your biometrics, and then you wait for all the time. And while I was waiting for 2 months, I got a rejection for my study permit, saying that I don't meet the criteria of coming back. But then I didn't lose hope. I wrote back saying with my revised SOP that my intentions are very clear for just my career redevelopment and explore the country to my full and come back and apply all those skills in my country. So then I got my approved study permit within next month, and then I flown to Canada, making all the necessary travel arrangements and all what I have to do, and here I am.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was so detailed. You just went step by step, and thank you so much. That's very easy to understand. And then you said one thing, you have to wait. You said that waiting period is not for the weak.
Not at all.
It's not for the weak. If you are there, like in this situation, hang in there, something positive will come. Canada just wants to be certain you know why you are coming here, and they have to be convinced that you are coming here for a valid reason. Moving forward, I would like to ask a very important question, which I know prevents people from coming here to further their education, and that's the issue of funding. Funding is a big reason which prevents people from achieving their goals, living their dreams. So I would like both Karishma and Niharika to share your experience on how you were able to get funding for your education.
Yeah, sure. I guess I can start and I can share a little bit. So like I said, Canada was a very very specific choice for me because of the whole affordability and self-sustenance aspect of it. Obviously there's the UK, there's Australia, there's a lot of places in Europe, but it comes with its limitation of finances. Now my family was very supportive. Like Karishma said, it's important to have a supportive family. They're a very supportive family. They want to fund me. It's not to say that we were very well off. I'm being completely honest here. But we managed, and they were more than happy to support me. But for me, I felt like when I was coming out of the pandemic and like making this intentional decision to move my life abroad, I want to be in a place where I felt like confident managing my own finances. And I think Canada was the most affordable option, and I was applied to I was able to apply for student funding, student loan back home to come here because I wanted to be able to make my own financial decisions, be able to pay my own debt back and make my life here. So ultimately like coming here, it's my investment towards my future, and if I fail, if I make it, it's all up to me, right? Like I'm not letting down somebody else, I'm not letting down my family. It's all my decisions, my smart choices or not, that's bringing me where I am. So yeah, definitely I took out a student loan to fund myself, and also after coming here, I think the working aspect of it, I was fortunate enough to find a part-time job in the fall. I think fall is a great time to come in just because a lot of people are hiring. We're going into what is known as the holiday season, so a lot of people need extra help. Found a part-time job, then I went to a part-time job at Humber itself. Great opportunity to learn, connect with people, and I think just having a part-time job all while studying and maintaining that balance really helped me. It helped me pay tuitions of the upcoming semesters, helped me fund my month-to-month expenses here, including rent, food, all of that. So I think just those aspects really help me out. And I think another thing to be really mindful of is when you're coming here, especially international students, I'm not sure about you, Rebecca, but at least for Indian students, we have something called the GIC that you need to pay. That's like a certain amount you log in with the bank here. And I think when you have that locked in, when you get that monthly amount from the bank, you need to be very mindful of how you spend it. Yes, it's not free money, it's your money that you parked for your future self, and when you get it month to month, you need to be very intentional how you spend it, why you're spending it. If you can, minimize your expenses and try to save that and reinvest it for yourself down the line in terms of like a tuition fee or like for food, whatever it is, but like don't blow it all up. Be mindful of how you're spending it, I would say.
Thank you so much, Niharika. Karishma.
Yeah, just adding on to it, because we coming from India, so we share a same kind of culture where we all deal through so many things. So just going through a little bit of background, Indian students mostly have to maybe sell their homes, sometimes sell their lands, or they do the parent support is crucial. They do a lot of stuff for their kids to raise, because we in India have a very different culture where we are not pushed to work from a very early age, which we see here in Canada, which is entirely different. We are to our parents till the time we get married or maybe settle or start working. So coming from a patriarchal family, my complete study was sponsored by my family, the job of my father and my mother's savings. So my father is having an Indian government job. He saved all his entitlements and money through all these years to support my decision. So they were asking me to get married, so I told them, instead of spending that money on my marriage, you can better spend it on my education, where I can sponsor my own marriage someday. So and then they believed in me, and then my father always said that if you want to be a woman of your own and be independent, maybe you should leave your comfort zone and cocoon you have been living in and just move out and make a life of your own, which you have always dreamt of. So I think it's not just the financial support, but most of the emotional and social support which they gave me, which make me feel so warm and comfort even without their presence with me here right now. But I think, and there's a lot more if we can delve into, so that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you so much, Karishma and Niharika. We delved into what we know as the reality of life. So sometimes when you come on social media, you think things are rocket science, things just happen by chance. No, things don't happen by chance, especially good things. It takes a lot of effort and sacrifices from your loved ones. In terms of finances, like you both said, family support can never be overemphasized. If you don't have your family support, it's going to be extremely difficult to relocate to another country. And I just want to say a big shout out to all the families out there that have supported their loved ones, and in the process of even supporting their loved ones to achieve their dream, it's a lot, and it's mostly sacrificial. Trust me, it's never when it's convenient. You know, everybody has to come together to just support this particular person that is trying to achieve this particular goal. And I know we've all been there, we know, and it's mostly because they believe in us. You know, that's why they have to just say, okay, we'll do this for you, don't disappoint us, make us proud. And that's one thing, when you are here, you should always remember, you have people that are accountable to you, you have people looking up to you, so you always remember that, and then that will help you make the right decision. And I'll just point out to the little points that Niharika and Karishma gave. In terms of funding, you can get student loans from various financial institutions. Just have a very plain, transparent plan on how you intend to pay back, and you also have the GIC option whereby you can save up some particular money and lock it up, and then when you get there, you get them monthly. That will really help you in paying for other miscellaneous expenses that you have to take care of. And you could also save up the money yourself. Canada is not just a country you wake up one day and you want to come the next month. No, it takes vigorous planning. You have to, if possible, plan a year before, or or 2 years before. Don't rush the process. Step by step, plan well so you won't come here and be stranded. Plan your journey well, your finances, and how you intend to live at least a bit comfortable when you get here, so it will not be too difficult for you when you relocate eventually. So there are so many options. Go to the institution where you want to study, check their bursary options, their scholarship options, and know your options. I will also say that it will be beneficial for international students if schools in Canada can make the bursary option more accessible, and also the scholarship options. I know there are some scholarships that are specific to only international students. You have to be here. It would be good if students can actually get a scholarship based on merit, even if they are not students yet in Canada. That will really help people, in fact, give them the motivation to get the academic excellence in whatever institution in their country back home, and it will make funding a bit easier for people to relocate, and they will get the best talent. We students, once you get there's a prize somewhere that you get when you have a particular grade, that will really fuel our inspiration to want to attain or achieve that. So I would really hope that in the nearest future there's an option for people to actually get scholarship based on merit without being a student here in Canada. So there are so many options in which you can get funding, and I hope that for those planning to come here to study, I'm wishing you the best and hoping that you have the best option available to you to relocate here to study. Okay, the next question is for both of you as well. So, what were the challenges you faced here in Canada as an international student, and how were you able to solve those challenges? Okay, let's
Karishma. I'm always starting to that.
Okay, so I think challenges are very much part of our life in every sphere. So, but coming to a country altogether, packing your stuff one day and moving all your stuff without knowing when to go back home, I think it's a wonder, but more of a nightmare at sometimes, to one degree. So yeah, so I think we all face challenges. The challenges which we face, I think, are the high costs and inflation, which Canada is going through right now after post-COVID, where it's really hard to afford your rent, groceries, day-to-day everything. So I think you have to prioritize your tasks and money, and maybe plan every financial aspect of you, maybe a year ahead or something. Maybe you can buy a car or home, but you need time and you have to be very consistent about that. And then I'll talk about healthcare. So I myself suffered a major setback in the last 2 months. I was having some major health issues, and I ran into a hospital emergency for getting it treated, where I have to wait for 8 hours in an emergency, which was not good. And after spending almost like more than $2,000 out of my pocket, I treated myself with all the natural ways of yoga and everything. So I think Canada needs a bit of improvement in their healthcare sector, where it will be very good for all of us international students, where we get a setback. And I think in terms of safety, right now, I can imagine that everybody will agree that sometimes we don't feel safe coming at nights home, where we see homeless people walking in the roads and in the subways, and maybe some crime rates which are increasing in the city. So it's overwhelming at times where we don't feel safe. And then maybe meeting the academic excellence, meeting the peer pressure, and maybe your societal and parents' expectations which you have to fulfill. So with all these challenges, I think, but comes the positive ways, where we cannot outlook the outcomes, how we manage those challenges every day. So I think we just need a very positive approach, and I think we have to take one day at a time, and that will help us.
Yeah, some great points from Karishma. I think she spoke to a lot of like the challenges, which a lot of people can agree to, but I had a few more points to add. And it's so interesting that challenges are unique to different people, but some challenges are very much shared, like some of the things that Karishma mentioned. I will say financial anxiety is a lot of it, and I think closely tied to financial anxiety is job security. It's definitely with the inflation, rising cost of living, it's definitely been a harder job market. Don't be discouraged. It's not a problem that's isolated to Canada alone. Everyone is having difficulties even back home. It's not an easy job market. Things will come to you, but you have to be prepared that it's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, but the end results are going to be just as fruitful. I want to talk about something that I think a lot of people don't stress on enough. It's you need a kind of mental resilience when you come here. It's not easy, like Karishma said. Back home, it's very comfortable. Your family is supportive. You do things together. You have a support system that you can call up somebody in the middle of the night, like Karishma said, if you're not well, to rush you to emergency, or you're moving houses, you need help. There's someone to always help you. And I think building a life from scratch here, it's difficult. So you need to be a little bit mentally tough to bear the challenges that come along the way, and take everything as a learning experience. Like move right from moving to setting up your first Wi-Fi connection, setting up a hideout, with everything is a learning experience. Take it as it comes. I think it makes you a better person for having that experience. And if you feel like you're not mentally prepared for it, seek help. It could be a friend, it could be a therapist, anybody who can give you that sort of mental boost or that emotional support that you need to get through hard times here. And one other thing that I'll definitely talk about that's been hard is friendships and like your social circle. You're leaving everything back home when you come here. The time differences are great. You're not able to talk to your family whenever you feel like. Your friends are busy with their careers back home, and it's hard to maintain the connection, but hold on to it, because those are people you have known all your life. And try different opportunities. It doesn't have to be anything expensive, it doesn't have to be anything special, but go out, go use the library, use the parks. You have a lot of great resources here, but try to network, try to expand your social circle. You will feel a little less alone on a journey here when you do that. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, Niharika and Karishma. You both spoke the mind of some people out there, and I know every country has their own challenges, and if somebody were to move from Canada to India, they will know how probably have some challenges, or if somebody were to move from Canada to Nigeria, they will probably have some challenges as well. So no country doesn't have some little challenges, and I know that with time, those situations will be sorted out. You both spoke about financial issues. That's one of the biggest challenges. You have to set your priorities right, map out your spendings, have a plan on how your expenses goes out, what you do with your money, and ensure that you don't get stranded. I would suggest that each institution should have a clinic that is situated in that institution, whereby students would have access to, because back home I know most universities usually have a hospital that is attached to that college, whereby students can get treated for minor cases that are not so critical, and then if it's a critical case, you'll be referred to a standard hospital. I think that should be considered here in Canada, whereby students can be treated for minor things, and then if it's a critical issue, you'll be referred to a standard institution. So that will really help people to have more access to healthcare services here in Canada as international students. And in terms of finances, it's up to you actually. There's nothing the government can do. They've given you the hours to work. It's up to you to plan how you spend your money and prioritize as well. So we are almost running over. I just have very few questions to ask. You can just answer that briefly. So Niharika, I was able to engage in extracurricular activities in school, and what skills did you learn from that, and would you advise intending international students to participate in those extracurricular activities?
For sure. I think extracurriculars has always been something of interest to me. I used to do it a lot back home as well, and during my undergrad throughout, I was very involved with the student body and with just everything that was happening in the college and the university. So I think it's always stayed with me, and I naturally just seek it out. And if you come here, you have a lot of options. Please, like, if you're interested in that, take those opportunities. To begin with, I would definitely say that even though you're working part-time to earn and be financially sound, it's actually like an extracurricular in itself, because I think Karishma said this, that it's not a culture for Indians to like have been working from when you're 16 and earning that money. It's not. We are more academic, so it's always like finish your studies and then you can, go ahead and work kind of thing. So it was my first time working part-time here, and it was really interesting because I feel like learned a lot of people skills, soft skills, which is very important, especially when you work in a customer facing role. You think, oh, this is like a retail job and like I'm probably like earning and like getting out, but I feel like my soft skills are a lot better because I had to use a lot of that when talking to customers, and it's really helped me in my job. We are all in communications. Definitely one of it is like non-verbal soft skills communication, so it's really helpful, very important. And I think I didn't do so much at Seneca because it was like really intense here, but in Hamba I think what really helped was just understanding what are some of the clubs and activities around the profession I want to do. So there was a public relations committee which was directly of the students who are studying the program. So it's little things like we used to put out blogs, a little bit like a newsletter. So it was like real writing skills. You might not be the best, but it's sharing something, putting something together, and that's something that you can show as a body of work when you want to get employed. And then I tried a lot to get involved with student life, I think towards the end of my time at Hamburg, because I felt like the college had really a lot of resources and really had helped me set up my life in Canada seamlessly, and I felt I wanted to give back a bit. So I started working as a student volunteer where I would help with orientation for kids who are coming after, just trying to see how I can best prepare them for life in Canada, just like how I needed it once. Similarly, I then signed up to be a peer mentor, which is basically like you reach out to kids who are new, you chat to them, give them some advice because they have questions for you about navigating life, finances, everything in Canada. They're new and overwhelmed, and you help out as much as you can and just be there support for them. And I think another thing I really enjoyed doing was just getting involved in professional associations. There are a lot of professional associations back home as well, but I really wasn't deeply involved. I took a student membership at the International Association of Business Communicators, IABC, and CPRS, it's a Canadian Public Relations Society, and I feel it really exposes you to some events, helps you connect with peers, maybe you find a mentor there who will coach you on professional life in Canada and just building a career here. But it just opens your mind out to different career opportunities. You maybe volunteer for a program there, you build up some event management skills or some social media skills because you do some freelance work, and I think everything is experience and it can add towards building a career here in Canada. And I think one thing about the Canadian job market is they don't care if it's like paid work that you've done before, as long as you have skills to show that is tied to tangible work, whether it's freelance, whether it's volunteer work, unpaid work, whatever it is, even if it's a customer service job, if you have skills to show towards project management, whatever it is, they will appreciate that and it's all considered as experience. So make best use of it.
Thank you so much. The last question for Karishma. Put us through the taxes and how that's job offer.
So I think I forgot to mention a challenge, that unemployment is also a challenge.
Yeah.
I was just about to add to it only that yes, it's an issue, but then we have to find an answer to it, right? Everything's come with its answers first. So and you have to beat that challenge. So I took it as like I gave myself 3 months. And I asked myself that Karishma, you have to do it in this 3 months, and I did it. So after I completed my studies, I got a job in security industry, and I was working as a security supervisor. Prior to that, I was working in some part-time event security and everything. So I got this job, and I got the University of Toronto site where I have to supervise and maintain all the security protocols and everything. So I utilized that job and that time continuously and rigorously doing all my networking. So yes, networking is the key. Make networking your best friend in Canada, because that is what it is all about. And then the second thing, build as many references, as many social connections you can build. So what I was doing during all this time was, whosoever I am meeting on the desk, I was just letting them know what I have did, what I am looking in, so that if somebody might be looking for someone, they can reach out to me. And that is how it works. So I was active on LinkedIn platforms, I was reaching out to people, I was attending CPRS events, and I was doing all kind of social networking. Even if I I trust some amazing talents of like going on biking trails and everything, and I met amazing people on trails, and I was networking about jobs. So I was going on trips and I was talking to people. So then fortunately, well, I was working with some of the managers of which were working directly in the University of Toronto, and they asked me if I'll be, I want to apply for a job that's coming up on their platform. So I was very excited that they liked my work, and they asked me if I want to apply. So I was every time I was keeping myself updated with all the opportunities that are coming in the University of Toronto too. So I applied for a position, and then it took me almost more than 1 month and 2 months, and I secured a position as a commercial property administrator with the University of Toronto in the same building where I was just working as a security guard. So I think there's no no end. It's just means to end. You have to navigate your process. You have to do, like, in all these times, you just have to be very positive. Just try to tailor-made your resumes. Just try to build your networks, do interviews, attend job portals, job markets. So whatever you can do, just be positive and just make sure that within this time frame you have to achieve it. You dream of it and you have it.
Thank you so much, Karishma. Because of the time constraint, I know that America has.
I think Karishma did a really good job of covering all the points.
Yeah. So just make networking your best friend. If you are the kind of person that you like to isolate yourself, Canada is not the place for that. You have to network, you have to meet people. And sometimes you don't even have to go out. But when you meet them, trust me, you eventually have to go out to meet them. So try as much as possible to network. That's the key. Ensure that your networking is genuine. Please do not use people. That's one thing people try to mistake. Don't get it twisted. You network with people for them to help you in achieving a particular goal, but please be genuine. Have a genuine relationship and connection with people. Help if you have the opportunity to. Also link them up to other opportunities. It's not just about you. They are also humans. It's about them as well. So try to make a positive impact in their own life, just as they are impacting into yours. So it's a two-way street. It's not just about you, but also intend to add value to them as well. So thank you all so much for joining today's episode, and I'm sure that you all have learned a lot from today's episode. I have, and I'm sure that even Karishma and Niharika that shared their experience, they even learned some things even while they were sharing their experience. And that's the beautiful thing about this program. As you speak, you also get to learn some other things, not just from yourself, from even the person you are talking to. So that's one thing about this program, and I am sure that people that have watched today's episode have also learned a lot from today's episode. So we are done with today's episode, but we have an entertainment aspect, and it's just a very brief entertainment aspect. So it's we are going to play a game. It's called Never Have I Ever. So both of you, since you have 2 guests on the show today, you just put your 10 fingers up. And then if you've done any of the questions, I will ask you to put 1 finger down. And then after that, if you've done more than 3, there's a game that we play. It's very light, don't worry. And after that, we'll round up the show. Are we good to go?
I'm very excited,
Alright, I really do like this aspect of the show. It's so interesting. Alright,
wait,
so
10 fingers up.
You're ready. Alright, so never have I ever walked through the line to meet a deadline. Okay? Never have I ever been part of a successful project from start to finish. Okay.
Karishma's on her way to lose.
Never have I ever been promoted.
Oh, wait, never have I ever been promoted, so
Okay. Never have I ever accidentally sent an email to the wrong person.
Oh, not this, like, is it all your life or is it in Canada? I'm gonna judge
all your life.
Oh, okay. 3 fingers down.
Okay. Never have I ever worked 2 jobs at the same time. Okay. Never have I ever had a crush on a teacher.
No.
Never have I ever used a dating app.
Oh.
Okay.
It's very common these days.
I know people don't like to go out anymore. Alright, never have I ever broken up with someone over a text.
Oh, no.
Okay. Never have I ever worn something I took out of my dirty laundry.
Oh, that's very
Think
common.
well.
It's very common when you're a student. It's very common.
Never have I ever been to a bachelor or a bachelorette party.
Oh,
Okay, so Nyarika, you have just 2 fingers down.
no, how
So
is
Nyarika, you have 5. Okay, Karishma, you have
6.
Six down.
I think 4 down.
4 down. Okay,
Yes.
that means you both qualify to play the next game. So, Niharika, you're going to play a spelling bee.
Okay, okay. So I can put my fingers down.
Yeah, you can put your
Yeah.
fingers down. And then Karishma will play a quiz game.
Okay.
So, you're going to spell the word narcissist.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Okay.
if you get we have 5 spelling bee questions. So if you get the all 5, then there's a gift by one of our sponsors.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it, don't worry, still going to get the gift. But
Okay.
just know that you will
Yeah.
come to every something one day.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is you're going to spell narcissist.
Okay. I hope I'm not embarrassing myself because I'm going to use to autocorrect these days. So
Don't worry.
yeah, it's NARCIST. Okay. Is it
Narcissist. Yeah. Although there's an S at the back, it's more than one. But yeah, you got
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Alright. The second word is indispensable.
Oh, that's I think that should be fine. INDESPE. Wait, indispensable. Yeah, PENSIBLE.
No, don't worry, just calm down. I think it's one after the
Okay.
other. Indispensable.
INDISPENSIBLE.
Sable. Indispensable.
Oh, it's ABLE.
Correct.
Oh, my God.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's
Okay,
small
the
words.
third one is correlation.
Okay, correlation.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's CO hyphen, no hyphen, up to you. RELATION.
Almost there.
Is it a double R?
Mm.
See, you choose sneaky words. It's a double R. Yeah.
Alright, so the fourth word is Mississippi.
Oh, okay. This is horrible. Okay, I'm still going to try. MISSISSIPI, or is it a double S both times?
Almost there, but not there. Because there's a double S in the
Yeah.
first Mississippi, and then there's a double P.
Oh,
And
so
then
the
there's
two
so
times
many
both double S, one S, and then double P.
No, double
Double S,
P.
double S.
Oh.
Sorry, double S as well. So it's spelled
Yeah.
MISSISSIPPI.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a trick one. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
2 words out already. You got two words out. So you have 1 chance to make it up. So the last word is acquaintance.
Acquaintance. Okay. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Okay. AC. No. Okay. AQ. U.
Why am I giving you a tip now? Just take it one step.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
Acquaintance.
AQ. UAI. No, UAI. Wait, it's so hard and I'm thinking and trying to spell at the same time. Okay. Acquaintance. No idea. I'm actually not even spelling. AQUAI. A again? No. NPANCE, right? Acquaintance.
Acquaintance. Okay, although you got it wrong.
Yeah.
Because at first when you started
Yeah.
spelling it, you were on the right track. So the correct spelling is
Yeah.
ACQU.
Oh, yeah.
AINCE.
Yeah, so I'm missing the C. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's starting at
I'm
11
going to
confused.
give you correlation because just one letter
Yeah.
you missed. So you got 3 out of 5.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, this is not a reflection on me being employed, please.
Good one.
Just for fun.
Now I see AI is doing everything for everybody these days. It's making us lazy. Okay, so we have a quiz for Karishma. Don't worry, don't worry. It's not so difficult. So what is the name of the Minister of Immigration in Canada?
Go.
Mark Miller?
Nice.
Everyone knows the
Everyone
name
knows
because you
the
hear
name.
answers all the time.
I know, right? What nationality has the third highest number of international students in Canada?
Can you repeat?
What nationality?
What nationality has the third highest?
Third highest.
Mm.
Oh.
Third highest is tricky.
Third highest number of international students in Canada.
I don't even guess.
Yeah, you should do it.
Is it Indians?
Hmm?
Indians?
No, we might be the first trial.
No, you can tell me the answer.
Okay, definitely not Indians. Indians are the first.
Oh, they're first. Maybe first.
So it's Philippines.
Oh, I
They are
would
the
say
third
China.
highest. China is second.
Oh,
And I think the fourth is France, and then fifth is Nigeria.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
India, Chinese, Philippines.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So what is the least populated territory? You know we have how many provinces do we have in Canada? 9, right?
Yeah.
And then we have 3
Yeah.
or 2 territories. So which is the least populated territory in Canada?
I think I don't know this.
I think she'll switch it to give her spelling and me.
That would be easier for me. No, I don't know.
Okay.
Is it Yukon?
No, it's Nunavut.
No, no,
No idea.
Almost there.
I just know about Toronto.
Okay, so the last question is who is the Prime Minister of India?
Narendra Modi.
Yeah. It's correct.
Yeah, I Rebecca was like
I
thinking
think
for a
you're very
second.
simple.
I think the first and last question were the easiest.
Alright, thank you so much
Yeah.
for participating in the game.
Thank you so much for having
And
us,
it was
yeah.
really fun having you guys on the show and very informative as well. And there's a gift for you both by our sponsor Tihana. And I want to thank you for sponsoring today's episode. Tiana is a makeup artist here in Toronto and she sponsored today's episode. Please patronize Tiana. I'm going to tag business page on this post and you can check them out. They are very good at what they do and their services is wonderful. If you want to do your wedding, your birthday shoot, whatever, please patronize Tiana. And thank you once again for sponsoring today's episode and gifting our guests these beautiful gifts which I'll be giving them at the end of the show. And thank you all for watching today's episode. And lastly, my many thanks goes to both of you again for being part of Talk with Reby on today's episode. Thank you.
Thank you so
And
much, Reby.
thank you so much, guys. Bye.